Rangers on the brink of points deduction after fan protests rock Ibrox and the SFA are ready to drop the hammer. Explosive new details emerge on the Raskin-Martin fallout, with insiders claiming it's far more than just a simple bust-up. Chermiti's transfer scandal takes a twist as it's revealed Rangers could have had him on loan. Instead, they splashed nearly £10 million. And with the Europa League clash tonight, former Celtic striker Oh Hyun-gyu is desperate to score at Ibrox in what he calls the moment he's been dreaming of. Strap in. This one's wild from start to finish. Listen, you need to hear this loud and clear. The Rangers are walking a tightrope, and the Scottish FA aren't messing about. There's talk now that points could be deducted if the crowd behaviour doesn't calm down, and that's not a road you want to see your club going down. It all kicked off during the Premier Sports Cup quarter-final against Hibernian on the 20th of September, when plastic balls were thrown onto the pitch in protest against Russell Martin. A message was sent, no doubt about that, but now there's talk of real consequences. The Scottish FA have already punished the club by slashing 500 tickets for the semi-final against Celtic at Hampton on the 2nd of November. And that's just the beginning. Football finance expert Dr. Daniel Plumley gave a stark warning, saying that when fines don't work, the punishments get harsher. We're talking further ticket cuts, empty stands, and yes, points being docked. Nobody's saying we're there yet, but let's be honest, you've seen the signs. Protests are only ramping up, especially with Genk coming to Ibrox on the 25th of September. You can already sense something brewing, and the tension around Russell Martin hasn't gone anywhere. The frustration is boiling over, and it's not just him. Patrick Stewart and Kevin Thelwell are under serious pressure from the support as well. But here's the problem. Once the authorities start scaling up punishments, it's hard to turn back. And if the points start getting stripped, that's not just a slap on the wrist. That's handing Celtic a free pass in the title race. There's something bubbling under the surface at Ibrox. It's what's going on behind the scenes with Nico Raskin and Russell Martin that's turning heads all across Glasgow. Raskin, one of Rangers' most consistent and gifted players in recent years, was dropped for that disastrous 6-0 battering at the hands of Club Brugge, a result that still leaves a bitter taste. Since then, the whispers turned into full-blown headlines. There's been a proper fallout between the Belgian dynamo and the manager. Now, Ross McCormick, who came through the ranks at Ibrox, has poured more fuel on the fire. Speaking on an open goal, he revealed he's been hearing from people close to the situation that this isn't just your run-of-the-mill dressing room disagreement. According to McCormick, it's something bigger, something deeper than just a player questioning the gaffer's tactics. Word is, Raskin's been difficult to work with. But let's be honest, would anyone blame him when he's constantly being left out while the team collapses on the park? Add to that Barry Bannon backing Martin's character from their Scotland days, and you start to see how divided things are becoming, even outside the Ibrox walls. But here's the reality. Raskin is absolutely vital to any success Rangers will have this season. You saw it last year. 16 goal contributions, 2 Player of the Year awards, and that energy in midfield you simply can't replace. When he's out, the team feels it. When he's in, there's at least a heartbeat. You've got Genk coming to Ibrox on the 25th of September. That match will tell you everything you need to know. Is Raskin back in the fold, or is Martin digging his heels in? Let's not kid ourselves. Rangers won't turn this season around with one arm tied behind their back. So here's what I want you to answer. Should a manager who's already losing the dressing room and the support be allowed to keep freezing out a player like Raskin just to protect his own ego? Rangers decided to go all in on Youssef Chermiti. £8 million rising to $10 million, splashed on a striker who hadn't scored a single goal for Everton. a lad who barely got a sniff of first-team football in England, and yet the Rangers board back the checkbook like they were signing a seasoned goal machine. But here's the part that'll boil your blood. According to journalist Mark Whitty, the club had the chance to bring him in on loan first. No obligation to buy, no risk. Just a proper look to see if he could cut it at Ibrox. But instead, the hierarchy, led by Kevin Thelwell, chose to dive headfirst into a permanent deal. Why? Faith, pressure, blind optimism. Let's be honest, you've seen more of Chermiti's name on the team sheet than you've seen him on the pitch. 36 minutes, that's it. For a striker who cost as much as £10 million, that's not investment, that's gambling. And with Thelwell already in the firing line for other decisions, this one could well be his legacy if it all goes south. Meanwhile, players like Raskin are getting frozen out. Results have been patchy and the support is restless. The League Cup win over Hibs bought Martin some breathing space, but you know as well as I do, if Chermiti doesn't start delivering soon, folk won't just be pointing fingers, they'll be calling for heads. Should Rangers ever be spending that kind of money on an unproven youngster, especially when a loan option was on the table? Or does that just prove how out of touch the board really is with what's needed right now at Ibrox? Well, would you listen to that? A former Celtic striker walking into Ibrox tonight, dreaming of scoring. How original. Oh Hyun-gyu, now wearing Genk colours, says it's his dream to find the net in G51. Not because of European glory, not for his current club's cause. No, it's because he never managed it while wearing that green and grey rag. He's back in Glasgow, all right, but it's not Parkhead he's craving. It's Ibrox. Because even now, after his spell at Celtic, where he apparently won the treble, the one itch he couldn't scratch was scoring on our turf. The stage where real pressure lives. Let's be real, this isn't some world-class hitman walking in. He managed 12 goals all last season and is sitting on just 2 so far this campaign. Not exactly terrifying stuff. And if his dream is to make a name for himself at Ibrox, then he's about to find out it's a nightmare for visitors, especially ones with Celtic ties. He can talk about Stuttgart collapsing and his Genk focus all he wants, but you know as well as I do, when a Celtic man opens his mouth and says he's dying to score at Ibrox, it's not ambition, it's obsession. They never forget us, even when they're thousands of miles away, or in his case, getting stuck mid-table in Belgium. But here's the bit that stings them the most. The only thing O will be leaving Ibrox with tonight is the sound of your roar in his ears and maybe a fresh dose of regret that he never got the job done when he had the chance on the other side of Glasgow. If you've made it all the way to the end, you're one of us. Do us a favor, hit that like button, and if you've got something to say, drop it in the comments below. And before you go, type it loud, type it proud. We are the people.